You're not alone. If you need someone to talk to today, please contact Crisis Services Canada by either calling them at 1-833-456-4566 all hours of the day, or you can text them at 45645 at 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember, you're not alone, and Crisis Services Canada is here to help. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this live edition of the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions. I am your host, Graeme Forsyth. This edition of the Prospect Show is brought to you by TOVI Hockey, Caisse Financial Group, and Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy. Thanks for taking the time out of your Monday evening and tuning into this edition of the Prospect Show. It's going to be a good one. Tonight, we got a returning guest returning to the show to talk some hockey, talk about how life is going in the WHL. Number 16, he was number 32 before, but he's now number 16 of the Swift Current Broncos rookie forward, Brady Birnie. So far this season, he's had a chance to play in 15 games with his WHL club, the Swift Current Broncos. He's got 5 points in 15 games so far. We're going to talk about, what that transition has been like this year, getting to be in the lineup full time so far this season. Also talk about how the team has done so far this year in the WHL, as well as, some other things as well. Apologies to everyone that was waiting for the MCN Sports Advising segment this week. We weren't able to get anybody on from MCN. We will have guests or a guest or two from MCN joining the show next week, but let's get down to business here in the present tonight with number 16, rookie forward of the Swift Current Broncos in the WHL, Brady Birnie, here on this week's edition of the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions.
Wow!
And there he is, Brady Birnie, joining the show, number 16 of the Swift Current Broncos in the WHL. Brady, it's been a while since you've last joined the show. You've done a lot in the past, years since joining the show, now playing full-time with the Swift Current Broncos in the WHL. Got to start off by asking, how's the lifestyle in the WHL, man?
It's a lot different than back in midget and Bantam. It's a lot more professional and a lot busier of a schedule. We're going every day, and it's been a real change, but it's been really good.
Yeah, and that's a question I want to ask, is just how that adjustment has been of playing AAA hockey to now playing in a junior league in the WHL here in Canada.
Yeah, well, obviously only getting 7 games of midget, that obviously didn't help, but the coaches have done great in the team, and our practices are good, and it's been pretty easy to get my feet under myself in the league, but there's a lot of learning still to be done.
Yeah, and you had an opportunity last year, actually, in the 2021 season, the short season that was played in the WHL last year, to play 4 games with the Broncos. Just talk about what that was like, getting that opportunity so early on in your junior hockey career to get an opportunity to get some playing time in the lineup for those 4 games.
Yeah, obviously that was something I'll never forget, and I think it just to help me to learn for this year. And this summer I took what I learned from those games and helped with my training, my off season, and I thought that helped.
What would you say, going more into depth into it, were the biggest takeaways you took away from your short stint in those 4 games at that time?
Probably just the speed. It's a much faster game in every aspect, skating, thinking, and then it's a lot stronger of a league, much bigger players. Obviously, there's 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds, bigger players. So that's what I took from those games.
Talk about the type of playing time you got, your spot in the lineup in those 4 games.
Yeah, no, obviously the coaches, I only played 4, but then when I was in the lineup, they gave me time. It was 10 to 15 minutes a night, which really was good for me.
Talk about, that message from the coaches, what they told you after your time was done with the Broncos.
Yeah, they just told me basically what I need to work on, get bigger, and pretty much get better in every aspect is what every player needs to do in the summer, get bigger, faster, stronger. So I just did that in my summer. They gave me some other things just for practice stuff. And yeah.
Now, obviously, for a lot of hockey players out there, almost every hockey player I've talked to on this show, there's always that welcome to the league moment, whether that's a transition from AA to AAA playing against older competition. For you, was there a welcome to the WHL moment in those 4 games at all?
I wouldn't say really there's a welcome to the league moment. It's just kind of, I wouldn't even say there was a moment. Maybe just seeing some of the guys, like even my first game I played against Paddock and stuff. And I grew up like watching him. He played for the Pats a couple years ago in the Memorial Cup. So I think that was pretty cool.
How cool is that? Just getting to play against guys that are older than you, but like you said with Paddock, just getting to play against some players that you've had a chance to idolize while growing up.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's something I thought I'd never do, just watching him in the stands in the Brand Center. And then the next thing I know, I'm playing against him in the Brand Center. So it's obviously something never thought would happen. And it's just a dream.
Talking about the time you had with the Regina Pack Canadians, we talked about it a lot last time, obviously, because it was more relevant back then. You had a chance to play 7 games with that club. Obviously, not a lot of time to develop in that league, but a lot of good things you took away from that league. Just talk about, your short time with the Regina Pack Canadians, the things that you took away from them that you are now using in the WHL.
Yeah, obviously midget's a big jump from Bantam, and just taking in it's more of a system and it's more of a team. The team's got to win the game. Players can't win the game like in Bantam. Sometimes the players can win the game. Midget, everyone has to be there to win. And I just took that, you have to play your role. That's what I used now in the Western League.
Yeah, so you'd say like the type of development that is, utilized out there that is given to players in a league like the midget AAA league, in the Saskatchewan male AAA hockey league is beneficial to, getting you used to what could be to come in the WHL, even though, the game is at a completely different level. There is still things like that you can take away and use to your advantage in a league like the Dub.
Yeah, of course, everything you just said works. It almost matures your game to another level. Like your game has to be so mature as you get older and just keep getting more mature. And that was just one of the steps that helped your game get more mature.
Now, you've had a chance to play in 15 games so far with Swift Current. Obviously, you're a regular on the team this season at this point. Just talk about what camp was like, leading into this season, the type of camp that you had to crack a spot on the roster this year to become a regular on this team.
Yeah, coming into camp, everything was unsure, didn't know, and just went out there. I worked my hardest, gave it everything I got, and the guys were great. The coaching staff was great. Everyone was great. The camp was run really well for players to develop and show what they got. We got many chances. We played many games, and yeah.
Obviously, like you talked about, when you had those 4 games in 2021 in that shortened WHL season, you had a chance to, learn that you got to get faster, you got to get stronger as well. Talk about what you used from that experience to, put to work in your off season to get ready for this year and to make that jump to that next level playing with Swift Current.
Yeah, since it was just such a big jump, there's more that had to be done in the summer. So it was more workouts. It was more time in the garage. It was more time on the ice. It's just more that had to be done to get to the next level.
Now, obviously, last season, there were no fans that were in the stands in the WHL. This season, there's been thousands of fans. Just that experience of playing in front of the crowds that you've been able to play in front of. I know last time I asked you about how cool that opportunity would be. Now that you've gotten that opportunity to play in these environments that you've played in, how surreal has these experiences been so far for you?
Yeah, it changes the whole game. Even the Swift fans here are great. And then when I remember I played in the Brand Center once this year, and last year the bubble was held in the Brand Center. It was just a whole different building with fans in it. Last year it felt empty, a little dead, like goals. It was all you could hear were the players, but this year, like, you hear the fans, and it just warms your heart to see everyone back in the buildings.
Yeah, for sure. Has your family had a chance to get out to any games so far? Any home games?
Yeah, they were at the one in Regina, and then they've been to probably most of the ones in Swift, since it's only a 2-hour drive for them. So it's good that they're able to be there.
Yeah, how cool is that for you to know that mom and dad and any other family members from the Birnie family, from the Birnie household are coming out to support you? Just how cool it is, how proud you are to play in front of them, to know that you've made it to this next level at this point.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a reward for them too. They put in so much hard work to get me to where I am today. So probably makes them pretty happy watching. Like, they all just bought jerseys the other day. So it's been great.
Well, Brady, we're going to continue talking about your time with Swift Current so far this year in your rookie season after this first commercial break in the Prospect Show. Joining me now is rookie forward for the Swift Current Broncos, number 16, Brady Birnie, on this edition of the Prospect Show. Stick with me and Brady after the break for more here on this week's edition of the show on ASTV Productions. Welcome back to the Prospect Show here on ASTV Productions. Join me on this edition of the show. This week's edition of the Prospect Show is Brady Birnie, number 16. Brady was wearing number 32 at first on his 4 games last season, but he made that switch over to number 16 this year. Brady, got to ask you, what came down to you switching from 32 to 16 this year? I'm guessing it's just an opportunity arose and you felt like 16 suited you a bit more.
Yeah, obviously, well, joining the bubble last year as an AP, you just kind of get given a number. So I got given 32. And then last year, number 16, Michael Farron wore it. He's a 20, so he's out of the league now. And my favorite number has always been 15. It's taken right now, and so I just chose 16 because it's one away.
So you'll have to be a bit more patient and wait to get that favorite number, Brady Birnie's number 15. But great that you were able to make that switch to a number that you like a bit more. Talking about it, you got 5 points so far in 15 games played. Talk about just the chances you've gotten so far this year to be able to put up the points you've been able to put up so far this year.
Yeah, obviously coaches believing in me and giving me the opportunities on the power play and on the top lines and stuff. And then the players up there are amazing. Players throughout the whole lineup are good, and they make so many plays and create opportunities for you. And then it's just for you to take advantage of those.
Talk about the players you've had a chance to play with so far this season.
Yeah, obviously everyone's been pretty good. Matt Ward is a standout player on our team right now. He's over a point per game, and just out there with him, he's got same offensive instincts as me, and I think this just goes pretty good together. Raphael Pelletier, Josh Philman, they bring a lot of offense to the team. And a couple nights ago, I was playing with Cole Nagy. We had a pretty nice goal together. Just he sees the ice too pretty well.
Yeah, I did see that goal. Was that one where you went forehand, backhand, and put it in the net?
Yeah, that was that one.
Yeah, that was a highlight reel one, man. Just a beautiful give and go there, quick little give and go, and then Brady Birnie using his slick hands to put it in the back of the net. For you getting to play with players like Matthew Ward, like the other guys that you mentioned, just how huge it's been for your development so early on in your WHL career to have that opportunity to play with those guys.
Yeah, obviously learning from them. Some of them are young, just like me, and I'll play with them for countless years. But guys like Nagy, who are 20 and been in this league for a while, it's just learning from them and learning the ways. He was part of the PA team when they won the championship, so he knows a lot about this league.
Yeah, great to have a guy that has championship experience as well, a guy that's been around and knows the ups and downs, just the ins and outs of this league. And that moves into this question, just the dressing room that you guys got, how well this team, bonds and meshes together.
Yeah, it's unreal this year. It's better than last year, which is good. And I think the coach had a lot to do with that. Devin Pratt, he's built a really good schedule. We have a bunch of team building and stuff. We basically do everything together. We spend most of the day at the rink. We do school together, and we have really good leadership this year from guys like Rylan Thiessen, Cole Nagy, Sam McGinley, Isaac Poulter. Guys like that have been really good in the room this year.
Obviously, like there's vets on this team. There's some older guys. So, talking about the rookies out there, obviously you being one of them, how you guys have been able to, bond together to bond with this team.
Yeah, obviously, just being together all the time, and then us rookies have a connection too. That's just kind of a little bit outside the team. Younger guys just being new to the league, and we kind of just are learning together as we go.
Now, obviously, you've had a chance in your hockey life to be like one of those guys on the teams. Looking back at that year with the Regina Monarchs and your Bantam year, where you put up 128 points, coming in as a rookie on this team. Obviously, there's some older guys on the team. Where does that put you with your role? Of course, you've said you've had a chance to play some top 6 minutes as well as on the special teams as well, but go in more in depth into, what kind of role you've been put into on this year's Swift Current Broncos team in your rookie year.
Yeah, coming in, obviously, the first game I started on the fourth line, like most 16-year-olds will. And then ever since then, I've just been moving up in the lineup. Played third line for a bit, second line for a bit. Then I was on the first line for a bit, bumped back down to second. So I've been kind of in that area, playing 15, 20 minutes a night.
Do you feel like that comes down to not only your skill set, but just your ability to take in information and be able to put out what the coaches are teaching you guys out there for you to be able to, continuously move up throughout the lineup?
Yeah, obviously you got to, in this league now, like players are also good. It's the best team that's going to win the game, like the best team that plays as a team. So if you can play in the team identity and you can play in the team structure, then you'll play more, I find.
Now, talking about it, you felt like the biggest adjustment for you has been the speed and the size out there, just the size of the guys. Just, throughout these 15 games, have you found that those are still the biggest adjustments that you've been making is just, getting more used to that speed, getting used to the size out there as the games have gone along?
Yeah, since the start, it's been a lot of like it's gotten more comfortable at each and every game, each and every shift. You just feel a little better. We played some really talented players, which has helped a lot. Like the other night, we played against PA, which got 3 NHL first rounders and stuff. So we've been playing against good players and being out there against guys like Caden Gooley. You learn from that, just like where good players are going to be and what you got to do to beat them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Getting a chance to play against these guys so early on in your career is definitely going to have benefits for you as your junior career rolls along. Talked about, the opportunity, the chances that you've got, and just talk about the biggest ways, in your opinion, that you've found you've been able to generate the chances, generate your offense, produce those numbers so far this year.
Yeah, it's just when I'm moving my feet. I feel like when I'm moving my feet, lots of chances come, and don't hesitate in this league. If you think, then go. It's better to just go than wait. And when you're moving your feet, good things are going to happen.
Moving into Swift Current this year, you guys are currently in a playoff spot. It's early in the season, obviously, a lot more games to go. 8th in the Eastern Conference with a 5-8-2-1 record. My apologies there, hiccuping a bit, but 41 goals for, 54 goals against so far. Just speak about, how the season has gone, the results that this team has shown out there, both in the wins and the losses you guys have had so far.
Yeah, well, obviously, we started out really good. We were 2-0 to start the year, and then we kind of went on a big slide there. I think we lost 9 in a row or something, but I think the whole time we just stuck with it because we knew we were in tight games. Like at the time, Edmonton was ranked number 1 in the country. We just lost 2-1 to them. Winnipeg, we lost 3-1. So we knew we were right there. We were knocking on the door. And I guess just a couple weekends ago, we're 3-1-1 in our last 5. So we're starting to heat up now, I guess.
Yeah, great to know that even though you guys lost a lot of games in a row, like 9 games in a row is tough for any team, for you guys to come out of it, you think that speaks to just the character of the boys on this team that, you're in close games, you guys have to keep your heads high and, stay positive out there, even though you guys were losing so many games in a row.
Yeah, like we knew like one bounce could have changed any of those games and stuff. And I think we just, now that we've lost all those games in a row, we just feel way better winning, and we know what it feels like to win, but we also know what it feels like to lose. So we want to keep winning so we don't have to feel that way.
How have you found that the team has cleaned up the details in the game? Obviously, losing in close games, it comes down to those little things, right? The little things that those winning teams are doing right. How have you found at this point in the last, few games, the last stretch of games, you guys have really cleaned up those little details out there?
Yeah, obviously, well, since we got a new coach here, we learned a new structure, new ways to play. We got 2 new coaches, all new, like our coaching staff's brand new. So took us a bit to buy into that, understand what he's going through. And once we finally got it, it just works. And when we stick to it, we're a hard team to beat.
How have you found that this coaching staff, fits the style that this team wants to play out there more than the coaches that you guys had at the start of the season?
Yeah, the coaches we have right now, I think they just understand the team they have and the players they have and what they can do with each and every player and put every player in a spot where they can succeed.
Right, and that's just so huge when your coach is able to, understand, the type of roster, the type of, the way this roster is built, how to utilize you guys to the best of your guys' abilities, use their strengths out there, right? Talking about it, obviously, 54 goals against, something that you guys definitely want to, look to lower as the goals against, right? But talking about your game in the defensive zone, we talked about the offensive zone. How have you felt that your game has been able to transition in the defensive side of things so far
I
this year?
think it's really matured, and with the new coaches, it's really been something we've keyed in on, and I just feel like my game has matured more to more of a 200-foot game, and that's what I've really wanted to do since I joined the Western League.
Now, looking at it on special teams, how you've been able to, help this team on the special team side of things. Obviously, you've shown throughout your career, especially with Regina, that you can be that elite playmaker. Do you feel like that's one of the biggest strengths you're showing on the power play is your ability to move that puck around, find the open guy?
Yeah, it's just a way to see the ice, just see where guys are going to be, see where the defender sticks are, stuff like that, where the lanes are, and I think that just helps the power play click.
Now, you spoke about maturity. You were mature the last time we talked. You seem even more mature now. How have you felt that this experience you've had so far this year has really matured you throughout these 15 games?
Yeah, obviously, well, I basically am living with 17, 18, 19-year-old, 20 kids who are older than me, and they've matured, they've hit it. So you just learn from them. And I find stuff's really contagious. So when people do something, you follow along, and guys are super mature in the room. So
Yeah, it just, environment's a huge thing. Great to know that you're surrounding yourself, obviously being forced into it, but in a good way to be surrounded by these, mature, really, accountable young men out there in this Western Hockey League for the Swift Current Broncos. Looking out at the upcoming game for you guys, when do you guys hit the ice next? When's the next practices for you guys?
yeah, we'll practice all the way through the week. And then we got 6 games in 9 days. So we got Winnipeg and Saskatoon coming to us Friday and Saturday here, and then we're heading out to Brandon and we play Winnipeg again during the week, and then a couple more games on the weekend. So we're really getting ready. We won't have many practices, 6 games in 9 days. So
Yeah, quite a bit, and against some pretty darn good teams. Winnipeg has been phenomenal this year. I'm just looking at the standings here, looking at Winnipeg. I mean, this team, number one team in the league right now with a 17-1 record. So that'll be a good test for you guys. But, looking at it, 6 games in 9 days, that's quite a bit. What do you think the most important part of handling that type of workload is with, not many breaks in between those games?
yeah, it's just going to be obviously quick shifts is going to help, but it's going to be a short memory. You're going to have to, even if we win the night, even if we win Friday night or lose or Friday night, we're going to forget about that game. We're going to focus on Saturday night for Saskatoon. And the same for that. We're going to forget about Saskatoon after that game's over, and we're going to focus on the next game.
This just popped up into my head. Obviously, you guys sit down and watch some film, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that been like, just being able to watch more film this season than you have before in your lifetime here in your hockey career?
Yeah, we usually sit down in the room. He makes a document of how the team's gonna play in the O zone, the D zone, their penalty kill, their power play, all that stuff, and then we're gonna watch video on all of it so we can see it live. And it helps with stuff like the forecheck and stuff. You just you have like in the back of your head, you have an idea where they might go with the puck. They're not always gonna do that, but it just gives you an idea.
Yeah, for sure. Gives you a better read on, what could be expected from these teams. Last question before I let you go here, Brady. Obviously, you've been able to put up some points in the season so far, 5 points in 15 games played. How does Brady Birnie plan on continuing to, boost his offensive production, boost his game all around as, in these next 6 games and just coming up in the season in general as the season goes along?
Yeah, I'm just good. It's a long season, 68 games. Just gonna stick with it, do what I can each and every night, and control my attitude and everything. Be positive and stick with the structure. Don't cheat. Don't cheat the game, or I'll cheat you.
I swear, one more question here, Brady. Obviously, you guys feel like you guys are able to get through and win games this year. Obviously, the record hasn't, reflected on what you feel this team can do so far this year. But obviously, in a playoff spot so far, looking to continue to work your way up the standings. What do you feel is the ceiling this year for this Swift Current Broncos team when it's all said and done? When we do get to around playoff time?
Yeah, obviously, I don't think we've hit our ceiling yet. Our ceiling hasn't been touched yet. We have a lot more to show to people, and I think talking about playoffs, like it's a close race from about 5 to the last place there in the conference. I think it's like within a couple points. So each and every night is more important now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Brady, you and the team get set, get ready for a lot of games in a lot of days. Like you said, 6 games in 9 days coming up. You rest up, get ready for these games coming up. Thanks so much for coming on once again. Always great to talk to you, man, as this was our second time ever doing this.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me.
Of course, you take care, Brady. And best of luck as the season continues to roll along.
Thank you.
And number 16, rookie forward of the Swift Current Broncos in the WHL, Brady Birnie, joining this edition of the Prospect Show. And I thought of something today. I'm gonna throw it to my boss. Going to throw this idea around, put it up in the air. Would you guys like me to maybe take some game footage from a player? For example, just using Brady Birnie here and breaking down what makes him so good, some of the things that a player needs to improve on, breaking down film, doing a analysis, doing a deep dive on a player. Let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see that, or give a thumbs up, whatever, to signal that you guys would like to see me do a deep dive. I guess leave a comment, because that would let me know more than just giving a like. Not sure what the like would be for in that case, if you guys would be liking it for that segment idea, or liking it just liking this edition of the Prospect Show. But let me know down in the comments down below. You guys can comment on our Facebook stream, as well as on Twitter and on our YouTube now, as we have allowed comments at this point, which is a great thing in my opinion. So number 16 of the Swift Current Broncos, Brady Birnie, joining this edition of the Prospect Show. Always great to talk to him. Best of luck to him and the rest of the Swift Current Broncos coming up in their big short stretch of games here, coming up 6 games in 9 days coming up for the Swift Current Broncos in the WHL. We are going to take a quick not a quick commercial break. We're going to throw it to a few commercials, and then I'll be back here for some final words on this week's edition of the Prospect Show on ASTV Productions here on November 15th, 2021 on this Monday night. Stick around for more of the Prospect Show after these commercial breaks, everybody.
Welcome to Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot-Mound Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment.
And welcome back to the Prospect Show, everybody. This edition of the show on this Monday night on November 15th, 2021. Not a lot of days left here in 2021 as we are already midway through November. It is crazy, absolutely crazy how time flies, especially when you get older. As my years have gone by on this earth, I'm 20 now. It seems like the years just fly by faster and faster. But welcome back to the show, everybody. Brady Birnie, number 16 of the Swift Current Broncos, rookie forward for them in the WHL, joined the show tonight to talk about his experience so far in the WHL, his season with Swift Current so far, what the team has been like this year and some other things as well. Special thanks to him for coming on this edition of the Prospect Show. Special thanks to you, the viewer, for taking the time and tuning in to this week's edition of the Prospect Show. And also a special thanks to our sponsors who sponsored tonight's edition of the show in Caisse Financial Group, TOVI Hockey, and Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy. For the Prospect Show, we'll be back here. I'll be back here next Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time. Reason we did it tonight, we started the show tonight at 9 p.m. was Brady. This was the best time for him to do it. He was the only guest on tonight's episode, so I thought, why not? So just some clarification on that. And we should have, I will put it that way, we will have a segment of MCN Sports Advising next week with either one of their advisors. Maybe owner Matt Gorman will come on the show, or maybe we'll get one of their players. We'll have to wait and see. But tune into next week's edition of the Prospect Show at 8 p.m. Central Time here on ASTV Productions, on our Facebook at ASTV Productions, on our Twitter at Amateur Sports TV, as well as on our website at astvproductions.com. Coming up tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Time here on the network, it's my other show, Coffee with Graeme. That show, you can catch it on our Facebook, on our website, and on our Twitter as well. We will have assistant coach from the Swift Current Wildcats in the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA League, Chris Kerwin, joining the show to talk about the past week/weekend of games that his team played. We will also have McKenna Beard, a player for the Westman Wildcats, to come on to talk about her season so far, as well as her recent university commitment. And then, of course, we'll have Off the Wall with Cody Wall, color commentator here on the network, my good friend, doing his weekly segment Off the Wall with Cody, to break down the past week/weekend of games that were on the network, and some games that were unfortunately unable to be broadcasted due to the snowstorm, the road conditions that ended up happening here this past weekend in the province of Manitoba. But going to be a great morning tomorrow, folks. Going to be a great episode of the Prospect Show next Monday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. For all you Prospect Show fans, I'm signing off now. Graeme Forsyth, host of the Prospect Show. Hoping you all have a wonderful rest of your Monday night. Stay safe out there, folks. Of course, staying safe, I feel like most important thing, as always, not just at this time of the year, but as always. So have a wonderful rest of your Monday night. Stay safe out there. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend as well. And until next Monday on the Prospect Show, I'll see you then, everybody. Graeme Forsyth signing off now. Take care, everybody. Peace.